To kill what? I knew you'd come. Come on, Lord. It's a sad state of affairs. The time is cannot become a lord. Not even you. A man cannot kill a god. Tarnished. Thy strength befits a crown.
Hey guys, today I want to show you my high level Blood Dragon build. This build is a lot of fun to use and has a ton of options. As you can see for stats on the right, I've got 60 Vigor and 60 Mind. This is the soft cap for both these stats, and going past this will give you diminishing returns. I also have 50 Endurance and 25 Strength, so I can use pretty much whatever armor and weapons I want. I have 75 Dexterity, which turns into 80 with Millicent's Prosthesis. This gives me the soft cap for damage on most of these weapons, and also gives me max casting speed. And then I have 50 Faith and 99 Arcane, which gives me very good scaling with the Dragon Communion Seal, and Arcane scales with most of these weapons. So the cool part about this build is the talisman setup will never change. I use the same talisman setup for every single boss and with all these weapons I'm about to show you. And what I do is I basically build up consecutive attack damage and translate that damage to my weapon arts and to my dragon incantations. I also try to pair every somber weapon that I use with the best regular weapon from that class that can use seppuku. So I'm basically using seppuku to activate the white mask and Lord of Blood's exaltation, and also using it to build up more blood loss when I'm power stancing the weapons. My first setup here is the Regalia of Eochaid with the Noble Slender Sword. I also use the Bloody Helix with the Godskin Stitcher. I didn't include it on this run, but you can also use the Dragon King's Cragblade with the Stitcher. My final boss killers, I got the Bandit Curve Swords. You can scale into a Cult for the final boss, or Bleed when you want to do a blood loss buildup. I've got Cragblade on the left hand one and Seppuku on the right. I also use Morgott's Curse Sword with a Omen Cleaver, Rivers of Blood with an Uchi Katana, Eleonora's Poleblade with a Godskin Peeler, Bolt of Gransax with a Cross Naginata, and Mohgwyn's Spear with a Lance. Now of course you can power stance any of these regular weapons, you can power stance 2 of them together, or you can power stance any of these somber weapons if you get 2 of them. I just thought this was the best way to do it, to take advantage of both of these unique weapon arts and the power stance movesets of these weapons. Something else that I do, I use 2 Dragon Communion Seals to get the passive damage boost for Dragon Communion Incantations. Using 2 of them will boost your damage. When I'm casting Ancient Dragon's Lightning Strike, I will put a Gravelstone Seal in my offhand, and I'll use the Dragon Seal or Dragon Communion Seal to cast it. So I'm basically getting the passive boost in my left hand from the Gravelstone Seal, and getting the very good scaling from the Dragon Communion Seal in my main hand to cast the incantation. Onto armor, I've got the White Mask for my headpiece, Veteran's Armor, We'll go Gauntlets and Veteran's Greaves. And then for talismans, I've got Lord of Blood's Exaltation, Rotten Wingsword Insignia, Millicent's Prosthesis, and Ritual Sword Talisman. In my physic, I've got a Magic Shrouding Cracktear and Thorny Cracktear. I will always keep the Thorny Cracktear there, but I'll switch the element based on whatever weapon I'm using. So right now I'm using the Regalia of Eochaid, and that deals magic damage, so I've got magic in my physic. But if I was using a weapon like the Rivers of Blood, which deals fire damage, I would switch that to the Fire Shrouding Cracktear to boost fire attacks. When I'm using a weapon that deals all physical damage like the Bloody Helix, I'll switch the element to the Stone Barb Cracktear. So I've got Stone Barb Cracktear to help break stances faster, and the Thorny Cracktear to boost successive attack power. So yeah, that's basically how I'll do that. For my consumables, I've got a Sleep Pot to use against the Godskin Duo. It's very good against them. I've got Boiled Crab, which I use when I'm traversing through areas. It's important to note that Boiled Crab, Blood Boil Aromatic, and Hal Shibiri are all body buffs, and none of them stack together. I use them all for different scenarios. I use Blood Boil Aromatic just against the final boss. It's pretty difficult to farm for these things, so I save them for the final boss. And they last a little longer than Hal Shibiri, so using this for the final boss, and especially since I'm doing mostly physical damage, seemed like the better idea. So yeah, that's pretty much the build. Before each fight, I will use my physic. Then I'll use Golden Vow, then Hal Shibiri, and then Seppuku on my offhand weapon. And then you're ready to go. You can use your weapon moveset, you can use incantations. I like to use Dragon Claw, Dragon Maw, Grael's Roar, Borealis' Mist, and Placidusax's Ruin. I also use Ancient Dragon's Lightning Strike. You can include that if you want. But yeah, you have a ton of options with this build. You can use pretty much any incantation, any bleed weapon or arcane weapon. So it's a lot of fun, and I think you guys will enjoy. So yeah, have a good one.